Hello and welcome to what we're currently calling Mondas Musings, which is a new Doctor Who podcast about various things in the Doctor Who world, and maybe even non-Doctor Who stuff. Let's see where this takes us. So I'm Peter, and today I'm joined by...
Dan. Hey. I thought you were going to introduce me, but hey.
Oh, that's Dan. So today we're starting off with our first podcast, which is about the missing episodes, and we're going to do one about Hartnell, and then hopefully one about Troughton later on if we get around to it. So this first one will be about... obviously Hartnell's episodes that are missing from the archives, and we'll see how it goes. So let's get on with it. So
where do we start?
How are you doing starting off? Are you alright?
I'm good, yeah. I'm good.
It's a nice day out there, it's sunny, the birds are tweeting.
It's pitch black
the wind's
outside.
in the right direction.
It's night now.
You didn't get the reference there?
Oh. Is that a Doctor Who thing?
The wind's blowing in the right direction. That's what Phil Morris always says on
Is
Twitter.
it? Oh, yeah. I thought that was Mary Poppins for a second.
Oh, right, no. I don't think so. It might be. I don't know.
Phil Morris is in the room, everybody.
But sit back, relax, and get ready to expect the unexpected. That's a quote from Phil Morris as well. Expect the unexpected for this podcast.
I found Evil of the Daleks. It's under the table.
Oh, don't even joke about that, because before you know it, we'll get like people knocking on the door saying, "Where is it?" So a little kind of disclaimer before we start.
There's 6 pages about this on Gallifrey Base already.
Is there?
Yeah. Some random podcasters found Evil of the Daleks. It's under their table.
Yeah. Just say we found it. I bet you could do a convincing hoax.
We'll save that for episode 2.
Yeah, we won't be doing the hoax, don't worry. So disclaimer before we start off: we're not experts on missing episodes. Well, we are, but we're not like we've never claimed to. If we get something wrong, it's not our fault. Well, it is our fault, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure I'd say I'm an expert, but.
And secondly, as well, we have no connection to the BBC. So if we say, "Oh, I think Power might be back," that's more of a prediction, or "I'd like it back," rather than it actually is back. So don't, like we said before, I know we joke about it, but don't take our word for anything, because we know nothing.
But to be fair, Evil of the Daleks is actually under the table right now.
Is that a film canister? Is it 16mm tape?
Damn, I kicked something. What is it?
Just chuck it out. I don't need that. I'll spill the drink all over it.
Put the fire on.
Yeah. Keep us warm at night. So, where did you kind of first hear about the missing episodes? I think that's a nice point to start off with. And what kind of your reaction when you kind of found out that there's this much missing?
I don't know. I'm at the point in my life now where I've kind of liked Doctor Who for so long that I don't remember.
Just kind of all merged into one.
The days before liking Doctor Who, so I just kind of always been there.
Yeah.
I remember going on the old BBC Doctor Who website back when Eccleston was the Doctor, and they had the episode guides for every single one. I was like, oh, Macra Terra sounds cool.
Looks amazing, doesn't it?
It doesn't exist. What? I remember that, aged 6.
Yeah. And I think it's the shocking moment when you realise there's so much missing. I don't really remember a moment where I was like, damn, that's a lot missing.
Yeah.
But I know that in the early 80s, Doctor Who magazine and stuff published articles about it, and everyone was like, there's that much missing, seriously. But obviously it was something they had to do, wasn't it, really, to reuse tapes, and VHS wasn't a thing, DVD wasn't a thing. Couldn't go down to HMV and pick up Power of the Daleks on Steelbook like you can now. So there was basically no home media, I guess.
No, a while.
But it is shocking when you think about it, how much is gone. And I listened to a podcast the other day, actually, with Paul Venices is his name, the missing episode guy, and he was saying that if they'd started cataloguing everything they had 15 months earlier, so you know how they started in 1977 to get stuff together, if they'd done that 15 months earlier, we'd have the full Power, the full Evil, the full Fairy from the Deep.
Oh.
It would be...
That's heartbreaking.
That 15 months could have been a lot, really. But, before we start talking about the missing episodes themselves, I guess it is kind of, and we'll come on to this near the end, I think, as well, but we have got a lot back when you think about it. I think we have done a lot.
Yeah.
Because I think when they first started cataloguing them, there was 138 missing, and now there's 97.
Yeah, especially in recent years, because there's been more, public awareness.
Yeah, definitely. I remember, actually, that's true. Talking of when did you kind of first become aware of it, I remember, it must have been about 2006 or something, there was a Blue Peter episode where they said, if you find a missing episode, you'll get a life-size Dalek.
Yeah, I remember.
And I always thought, damn, I don't care about the episode, I want the Dalek.
Yeah.
I don't think anything came of that, but...
No, I think...
It's one of them, isn't it?
So now I'm trying to remember the earliest I remember something being found. I think that was the little bit of Galaxy 4 that they found.
I don't remember getting like mad excited about that, but I remember that one. That was Underwater Menace as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, and then obviously it was
the big stuff.
Web and Enemy, which is when I was like, wow, they found it.
Well, I actually remember we were at school together at the time, weren't we? And I remember there'd been an announcement saying missing episodes coming at midnight. And I don't think I stayed up for the announcement. I think I was probably too young for that. But I remember the first thing I did when I woke up the next day was check it. And I came into school, and you were sitting there on the table, and I remember you had your back face to me. And I kind of like tapped you on the shoulder. And before you had a chance to say it to me, I just said to you, Enemy and Web. And at that moment, I was like, it's back. And I was so excited at the time. And it was just like, this is crazy. It's back. And
I don't think you remember that.
Yeah, but this is what I mean. It's a weird memory, but it's like I remember how excited we both were at the time. And we were only like, what, 12, 13 at the time?
Yeah. I remember the biggest like moment of my life being whether to get the Doctor Who magazine with Enemy on or the one with Web on the front.
I think my dad picked up the Enemy one, but I think I would have preferred the Web one or vice versa.
I think I got the Web one because at the time I was like, I bet Web's so much better.
I think Web is better actually. I know a lot of people.
I prefer Enemy, but
yeah, I think it's still good, but yeah. I suppose again the thing with Web is it's not all found, but we'll come on to that in our Troughton one, I guess. But the kind of aim of these podcasts is if we start talking about something and go off on a tangent, I'm not really bothered as long as we get an interesting discussion out of it. But we'll start off with the first episode because we've got a little bit of a plan to this. So the first episode that's missing from the archives is obviously Marco Polo. It's the 4th episode of the show, and it's 7 episodes long, and you know the basics. So this was sold to 9 countries, if you want to know the facts. And I believe this is the episode that was sold to the most places, so it has the highest chance of coming back.
Well, supposedly.
Yeah, well... Do you want me to read out where it was sold to and what happened to them, or you're not bothered? You're not interested?
If you are interested, if you think the audience are interested.
I think it's an interesting... I was certainly interested before and I was writing it down.
Fair enough.
But it's up to you. So it was sold to Australia, where it was junked in 1976, and we have documentation for that. Canada, and it was most likely junked, but we don't have any documentation for that one. Iran confirmed that they have no copies of it. How do I pronounce that next one?
Oh, what?
Mauritius? That's probably it, yes, well done. It was returned to the BBC in London, and that's confirmed. Thailand we don't know about, so it could still be there, I guess. And Kenya confirmed they don't have any more prints. Nigeria was destroyed. Ethiopia we don't know about, so it could still be there. And Sierra Leone was returned to the BBC. So there's a few in there, I think, where it could come back. And I do strongly believe that if an episode's going to come back, I do think it will be Marco Polo.
When you say return to the BBC, do you mean they returned it and then the BBC
and wiped
destroyed
it?
Okay.
Yeah, back in the 70s.
Bagger.
Allegedly destroyed. We'll come on to more about that when we get to Galaxy 4. So the thing with Marco Polo I want to talk about mainly, because there's been a few rumours that I've heard about Marco Polo, and the big one that I always remember was it was called, I think you told me about it back in the day, was the Mew, which was Marco Polo, Enemy of the World, and Web of Fear. And that's also before those two were announced as well. So the rumour was that some guy, and we don't think we knew who it was at the time, but some guy had found those 3 in Nigeria, I think it was. And we're expecting a big haul of those 3 back for the 50th. And obviously we've got the other 2 back, which to me seems suspicious. Why would that other one be?
Yeah,
there?
Why would that rumour so close?
Yeah.
But not quite close.
Kind of makes you wonder, doesn't it? I heard another rumour that apparently they got it back, but it was too mangled to be recovered. Maybe. But I think it's impossible for it to say, really. Which, again, a lot of these episodes that we're going to go through, it's kind of impossible for us to say. We can only really kind of talk about it and hope for the best. But a lot of them, and I think I saw an interview with Phil Morris, and he basically just said that the system, because obviously it was Bikeland system, they used to take them from country to country. And that's all been broken down in the last 50 years now, so there's no way we can work out what went where and who had what.
Was it? I'm trying to remember didn't I tell you a story ages ago that it was like there was a copy of Marco Polo in 1997 or something, and they wiped it?
Yeah, I've written it down here, I think. In the mid-90s, a station in Africa contacted the BBC and asked them if they wanted to complete seasons 1 and 2 of Doctor Who back. So Marco Polo's probably in there. But the staff person at the BBC said no.
Yeah, wasn't it an intern who just didn't know any better?
Apparently, that's what you told me, yeah.
It's so frustrating.
It's annoying, isn't it? Especially because it's so recent. I mean, that was only we're talking 20 years now, not
Yeah.
And we're talking when emails were around as well, not even just a carrier pigeon.
Bikes. Bike from Nigeria to
Yeah.
London.
But obviously with Marco Polo, I mean, we are quite lucky because the audio exists. We've got telesnaps, which were kept by Warwick Hussain. We've got some colour photos, which are quite good. We've got reconstructions, and we haven't got an animation, sorry. We have got the target book as well, though. But there's no moving footage, which is weird. I think it's one of 3 stories where there's no moving footage. Which, again, I think it's just weird, bizarre, that the episode that was sent to the most countries. I suppose it's because it's an early one.
That's what I was... It's bizarre that it's like... There's episodes where they weren't really sold abroad that much, and we'll come on to it, obviously, with Dalek's...
Master plan.
And it's just weird that, like, the one that was sold to loads of places is nothing.
But I think this is what I mean. I think it's because at that point, the show had only been on for 13, 14 weeks. So I think at that point, would fans have been interested in taking pictures of it and recording the audio? Well, we had the audio, so I suppose so. But
yeah, that is...
I don't know. It's a weird one, isn't it? I don't know. There's not really much we can say about that one because, like I say, it's difficult to...
I know it's... I'd love to see any episode returned, and that one's quite important because it's so early, but it's not really one I've got like a massive desire to watch.
Yeah, well, I never used to... I was the same as you. I never used to kind of be interested. I thought, it's a boring 7-part historical. But I watched the reconstruction recently, the colour one. I think Loose Cannon did too. They did a colour and a black and white one. I watched the colour one, and it was actually quite good. It's one of them though.
If it returned, it wouldn't be colour though, so you're already losing to it.
That's true.
It's I'm not really a historical guy, as you know.
Yeah, I think I generally prefer science fiction ones, but I do think Marco Polo is good, and I understand why it gets the praise it does.
Yeah.
Although I also think, in part, the reason it gets so much praise is because it's the first missing one.
Yeah,
everyone. So it's the top of every list, isn't it? Yeah.
But it's just because it's a 7-parter as well.
Yeah, 7-parters are painful.
Well, they're probably not. But when I was a young guy, I used to watch like an entire episode in a go. So it was like I can't.
Yeah, if you watch it over a week, it's not too bad. But
also over 7 weeks.
Yeah, that's the
old school style.
Yeah. I was speaking to Toby Haydock about Marco Polo actually, and he said that Mark Eden was told it had come back, and then people kept saying to him, when's it coming out, and he got so sick of hearing these rumours and all the false stuff around it that he just said enough's enough. I'm not talking about it anymore.
Who's Mark Eden?
He played Marco Polo, so I guess he would know. But yeah, I don't know. It's difficult to say. But I do think that's a strong contender. And I think at the end we're going to say which one we think is the most likely to come back. So I think... I'm not going to reveal now.
Yeah, don't say now.
Yeah. But it's definitely up there. I'm not saying it's necessarily the top one, but I think it's definitely up there. So I think nothing more to say about that really. So we'll move on to the next one, which is the Reign of Terror. Which I guess you and me have both seen more of than Marco Polo.
Yeah.
Because more of it exists.
I've not watched the animation.
Yeah, the
any good?
I watched it recently. It's all right. I don't think it's as good as some of them they did. I think the Ice Warriors was my favourite.
Yeah, the animations kind of go all over the place. Really.
Yeah. I think honestly I prefer reconstructions, but I can understand. Like it depends. I think if I was watching it to see what the original one was like, I'd choose reconstruction. But I think if I was just having a laid back Saturday night, I'd want something easy to watch.
The animations are a lot easier to watch.
Yeah.
I've only really seen the Invasion one.
And 10th Planet we watched.
Yes, we did. I didn't like the 10th Planet one.
No.
But we can come on to that later.
Yeah.
An Invasion we'll save for another day, but I love that story, so.
Yeah, it is a good story, but we'll save that one. Right, so Reign of Terror. So I'll just, like I did for the other one, I'll just say where this was sold to. So New Zealand, where it was junked in 1971, and we have documentation of that. Thailand, we don't know about. We don't know if it's still there. We don't know if it was sent back.
Let's go now.
Let's screw this podcast.
No.
Mauritius. I'm saying that right. They returned to BBC again.
By the time we get to episode 97,
I'll
figure it out.
Right, Cyprus is an interesting one, okay? Because they had episodes 1 to 6, and we know they had all 6 episodes. 1, 2, 3, and 6 were returned in the mid-80s, I think in 1984. But 4 and 5 were destroyed in a civil war there. They're blown up by a shell.
This one.
So, and that we have proof of that. That is true. So that's quite sad. Because I don't know why the others weren't destroyed, actually. I guess they would have been in a separate cupboard or something. But it's a weird one, isn't it? I don't know. And then Kenya confirmed that they have no prints. Nigeria, they were destroyed. Ethiopia, we don't know about. And Sierra Leone were returned to the BBC.
So why did they send back a few episodes and not them all?
Well, they sent them back. We got them back after, didn't we? They were covered in the 80s. Ian Levine trekked out and got them.
Yeah, but...
So they were after.
Okay.
They were after the war. So,
right.
Yeah. So... but obviously, like I said before, obviously the audio exists for this. We don't have any telesnaps for this one, which I think is a bit... I don't know. I suppose it's enough, because we've got 4 episodes already, we kind of know what it looks like. It's not as mysterious as some of the other ones. Like I'm thinking like The Massacre, where there's no pictures at all of what the Doctor looked like as the Abbot, or what William Hartnell looked like as the Abbot.
And it's another historical one, again. A lot of the Hartnell ones are historicals, aren't they?
Yeah, they're missing, yeah. I think that's one of the reasons that the historicals aren't thought of as well.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I know the Aztecs, a lot of people like it, and that's recovered, obviously. Well, that never went missing. But yeah, I don't know. And we have some, I think, 8mm footage of Reign of Terror as well, which someone, like, filmed their TV in Australia. Or in the UK, it might be in the UK, I don't know. So that's always interesting to have a look. I think it's something ridiculous, like 12 seconds, which obviously isn't a lot.
Something, isn't it?
Yeah, it's better than nothing, I guess.
Just adjusting my chair. We've got the world's loudest chairs.
Desk. Yeah.
And the world's biggest desk in this radio studio.
I can go back and just be like, relax. And then once again, obviously, we've got the target book, we've got the reconstructions, and we have an animation for this one, which we talked about briefly before. And that was made by Planet 55 and Big Finish in 2013.
Big Finish had a hand.
Yes.
Nick Briggs played all of the side characters.
Yeah, he
inserted
recasted
himself
it
into the audio.
But yeah, Reign of Terror is a weird one, isn't it? I really like Reign of Terror. It's probably my guilty pleasure episode. I know a lot of people don't like it, but I think it's really good. I'd probably give it a strong 8 or 9 out of 10.
It's not one I've seen recently. Is that the one where it's like one of the cliffhangers is like somebody's trapped in like a basement and they're looking out and it's like a guillotine or something?
Yeah, I think Ian's trapped in the prison.
Yeah.
And he looks out to see Susan and Barbara walking towards the guillotine.
Yeah.
Which
so I've got a vivid memory of that for some reason, but I've not seen it in years.
No, I like it, and it's the first. I think it's the first episode with location footage as well, isn't it?
Is it?
It's there's a guy standing in as the first Doctor, walking to Paris with some nice cheery music, which I think is quite good. Yeah. Again, there isn't much we can say about these because obviously Reign of Terror, we've now got the animation, so I always forget it's missing in a way.
Yeah, and there's always some that is like. You kind of like, I really want this episode back, and then if one of the missing episodes of Rain came back, you'd be like, great, but we've already got the.
But having said that, I think it'd be nice to have a more complete series 1. I think one day we will have the complete season 1. I think because we're so close now.
Yeah, I feel like. I don't know why I feel like we're more likely to get all of Marco back before we get the 2 parts of Rain back.
Yeah, I think we will. Yeah. If we ever do get them back. Here's a question for you regarding the animations. Do you think if we got an episode back, the animation would just be like forgotten about? Or do you think people would still watch it and compare it and it'd be an alternative way of watching it?
Yeah, because people still talk about like the reconstructions, don't they?
Yeah.
So...
Yeah, that's true.
I imagine it would be kind of like...
But not of the episodes that have come back, I don't think.
Yeah.
Because you don't see people watching the reconstruction to the Enemy of the World, do you?
No, I don't think it'll be watched anymore, but I think like
it's a weird one, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean some animations like people just forget about anyway.
Yeah, Infinite Quest and stuff.
No, I'm just talking about just the
in general
missing episode ones. Like I've not thought about the Rain one.
I always forget they did the moon base actually.
Yeah,
and Power. Weirdly.
Well, the thing is, now that they're doing whole ones like Power and Macra, they're the ones that I immediately think of when people say the animations. So.
Yeah, true. And again, actually, I always forget Invasion exists, like you said. But no, Invasion was a good one from what I remember. I'm sure I've seen it. If not, I've definitely seen clips of it.
Well, I forgot that we watched the 10th Planet one.
Yeah, but that was a bit dodgy, that one, wasn't it? But
yeah,
it was nice to get that for the 50th, though. I will say.
Sonny hated that one.
Yeah. So the next episode is The Crusade, another historical one. And these 2 episodes of The Crusade are the only 2 missing episodes from season 2, which is quite nice. I always found it weird they never animated this one. I can understand why. I think there was something to do with the racism in it, wasn't there?
So I think there's like some blackface
Yeah,
it.
and they thought it'd be a dodgy one to do. But presumably, if they're going to do them eventually for the collection, then they're going to have to animate it, I guess. Unless they...
Yeah.
It'd stand out like a sore thumb if they didn't.
I imagine they'll just keep leaving them for now with the collection sets.
Well, no, but I read an interview in, I think it was a Doctor Who magazine yearbook, where they said they're going to not leave the 60s one till last, because that'd be silly. They're going to try and intersperse them a bit more. So, I don't think we're going to get them straight away, but I think they won't...
That's because they've secretly found all of Series 3.
Yeah. But I think we will start to see more of them. I mean, the collections, again, it's another kind of layer of kind of this missing episode thing breaching out, because it's like, well, what do you do for stuff like season 3 and 4 where there's basically nothing?
That's what kind of reinvigorated my fascination in missing episodes.
Yeah.
It's like, I've never really... I've always thought of Doctor episodes as like individual things, because that's how the DVDs were.
Yeah.
But now that we've got like the seasons, I've like started to like memorize what each season is. That's really sad.
Yeah. I always remember with the Hartnells, it's 8 episodes in season 1, 9 in 2, and 10 in 3.
Oh.
I don't know if that helps. Yeah, I don't know. I'd love to see some of these on Blu-ray, but I don't know if we'll see anytime soon. We'll see. So Crusade was again sold to a few countries. So Australia, they junked it in 1976. I was just wondering whether I should do an Australian accent there, but I'm not gonna do that. Australian.
They junked it in 1976.
Confirmed documentation. You can read the next one out.
Oh, don't tell me that when I've not got the list in front of me.
You know what it is. You know which one it is.
Where are we on?
Crusade.
Oh, Mauritius.
Yeah, there we are. Return to BBC London, and that's confirmed. New Zealand.
In 1974.
This is the weird thing again.
I'm going to keep interrupting you now that I've got it in front of me.
Okay. In 1974, episodes 2,
3 and 4
were junked, but episode 1 was found in 1998.
1998.
Even though we thought it was junked.
It's the filthiest look in the world.
Yeah. Nigeria destroyed it. Ethiopia. We don't know. Right, you can read it.
No, I'm putting the list away, don't say.
Ethiopia we don't know about, and Sierra Leone returned it to the BBC.
Good on them.
New Zealand's a weird one, though, isn't it? The fact that I think all 4 episodes were apparently junked, and then we found one. So the others could be out there.
Oh, to New Zealand.
But again, we've got the audio, we've got the telesnaps, we've got episodes 1 and 3, and there was a nice. I'm not sure if you've ever seen it, but I think on the Lost in Time box set, there's an introduction with William Russell as Ian.
That's what I watched when I watched them.
Yeah, and they're quite good. And fun fact, they were filmed in Ian Levine's house.
Ooh, ew. I watched those episodes and those introductions on like a little portable DVD player in the car.
Yeah.
Somebody got me Lost in Time for my birthday, and I was watching
that's
it on a
the
trip.
weirdest thing to... I watched part 2 of Abominable Snowmen, and I watched part 4 of Faceless Ones. Like,
it's because I just got it, and I was like, this is exciting, and this is really sad that it's like little 12-year-old me sat in the back of a car watching episode 4 or something of The Crusade.
There is nothing sad in that, I'll tell you that now. I've just had a weird memory just flash back to when you mentioned about missing episodes and your obsession with them as a kid. I remember when I started my marathon, must have been about 10, 11 years old, and I found online on Daily Motion Marco Polo parts 1 to 7, and I got so excited. I was like, I found him online. And then obviously I realised
no one else knows about this.
Yep, I realised it's the reconstruction. So that was a very, very sad moment in my life. I genuinely thought I found. I ran downstairs to my dad and I was like, Dad, I found Marco Polo.
You just thought you had really crappy Wi-Fi. And it's like pausing, buffering every bit.
Yeah. But again, there's a target book for this. There's a script book. We've got reconstructions. But like I say, no animation, which is a bit weird. And hopefully, I hope we get that soon, because obviously if we get that, season 2 is complete.
Yeah, but I feel like because they've got that problem, they're not going to bother. Especially, like, clearly they've got no interest in it if they've just completely skipped over it and gone to fully animating Power and Macro.
I think they
think
there's more of a market in full episodes as animation, don't they?
And just episodes of kind of recognisable monsters.
Yeah, that's true. But Marco Polo, Macro Terror is a weird one, I think. I know it's got the Macro in it, but I don't know, there's something about it.
Technically was in Grid a lot. I don't know, I think it's just like quite highly regarded among people.
I suppose they want to leave like evil. They want to put them all the good ones at the start and then kind of work. They want to mix them together, don't they?
Yeah. You don't want to follow power with evil.
No, you want to leave it and have your dessert later. I don't know what that analogy was. Right, Galaxy 4. Galaxy 4. You know what? I like this one. Right,
I love the Chumblies.
I never used to like this story, and then I watched the recovered episode. Airlock, I think it's called, isn't it? And I really enjoyed it. Have you watched the recovered episode?
I must have done, but I have not strong feelings about it.
If you watched it, did you watch the reconstruction around it? You know, because the BBC released a reconstruction with it, or did you just watch part 3?
I have no idea.
No idea. Okay.
I've told you for quite a few episodes of that marathon.
You're having a shower while you're watching it.
It was literally just like on in the background. I was watching it at twice speed, like Crystal did.
Oh yeah.
You know, playing a Nintendo DS. I don't know, probably not.
Yeah. Okay, so talking about where this one was sold. This one was sold in quite a few less places than the season 1 and 2 episodes. So this was sold to Australia, where they returned it to the BBC in 1975.
Are we in season 3 now?
Yeah.
Oh.
Sierra Leone, where they returned to the BBC in 1974, and Singapore, which I don't know about. Okay, so the weird thing about this is, do you remember when Airlock was returned to the BBC in 2011?
Yeah, vaguely.
Yeah. Obviously, that episode was only sold 3 places, okay? So we know which place it was sold to because the episode we got back, the print we got back, was... Sorry, we're just laughing because I bumped into the microphone, but we're going to ignore that. The version of it they got back had a load of cuts in it, okay? Or certainly Under What Menace did. I'm not sure about if this one did. And they've worked out the cuts from those match exactly the censored clips that they got back in the 90s. So the censored clips were taken out of there in Australia. So somehow this print made its way back to the UK after the censored clips were taken out of it. And just somehow got lost in the UK.
Alright.
Which I think is a bit random.
So there's more. I don't know. Every time I hear something about missing episodes, so that means there's more.
Well, what that says is the fact that it was returned to the BBC in 1975 isn't necessarily true. Because somehow it got to a junk car. What do you call it? A thingy.
Oh, I think.
A second-hand place where you sell stuff. I don't know. It'll come to me when I least expect it. But you know what I mean? That place where you buy stuff.
Yeah. Tesco's.
Yeah. So somehow,
I need to go buy my toothpaste.
Toothpaste.
Yeah.
So this is what I mean. So just because something says it's been returned doesn't necessarily mean it has. So we'll come on to this later on with stuff like Dark's Master Plan, which, I mean, that episode somehow got episodes back even though we thought they'd been wiped. But yeah, like I say, we'll come on to that. So Galaxy 4, we've got the audio, we've got the telesnaps, I assume. I've got no proof of that, but I'm sure we've got them. And the interesting thing about Galaxy 4 is we also have 6 minutes of the first episode, because it was used in a documentary, so we have 6 full minutes of one episode.
But that's it, of that episode?
Yeah, so 6 minutes of episode 1 and then the full episode 3.
Oh, yeah.
And then, obviously, the target book, script book, reconstruction, which was on the Aztecs DVD, which I always thought was a weird thing to put on there, but I suppose it was the last Hartnell one, wasn't it? Yeah. And I think Loose Cannon did a reconstruction, and we haven't got an animation. So Galaxy 4, do you have any thoughts about this one, or are you kind of like...
No.
Nothing?
I just remember the Chumblies.
Yeah.
Isn't there a big monster in that one?
The Rills, I want to say. And the Dravins. The Dravins are the female people.
Wasn't there like a big, like, horrible monster?
Yeah, that's a Rill, I think.
Was it? Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
I always feel like these not early Hartnells, but like early season 3 Hartnells, so Galaxy 4, Mission to the Unknown, Mythmakers, they're very forgotten about. Because when I was writing this before, I was just thinking, oh yeah, Mythmakers is a thing. No one ever mentions Mythmakers.
Well, when we say, like, oh, they'll only animate episodes with Daleks or Macra in because they're profitable, I'm literally the prime example of that, because it's like, I'll talk about Evil and Macro and stuff for ages, but when you're like Galaxy 4, it's like, I know nothing about it.
You're more of a Troughton fan, I think, aren't you? And I'm more Hartnell.
Yeah.
Which I think is interesting, because it's got like both of us.
And Troughton's a lot more sci-fi, while Hartnell's a lot more historical.
Yeah, so. I always think it's weird again, though, that I think most of the Hartnell ones that are missing are the historicals.
Yeah, I guess.
How many of them are science fiction? Is it just Galaxy 4 and Dalek's Master Plan and Mission to the Unknown? Is that it?
Yeah, I mean technically 10th
Oh,
Planet
and
as well if you count
Savages and Celestial Atomic. So there's a few, I suppose, but yeah.
Savage is sci-fi? I've always thought that was historical.
No, that's sci-fi. It's Smugglers that's the historical one.
Oh.
Right, yeah. So I think the thing with Galaxy 4 is it just proves that anything can come back. And the other thing with this is it brings up the thing of private collectors. So the guy who discovered it, Terry Burnett, didn't even know it was missing. And you kind of think, well, how, after 48 years, whatever it was.
Yeah, clearly somebody didn't want a life-size Dalek.
Yeah, yeah. You could have grabbed one back in 2006. You would have got a little rusty Dalek. But yeah. So there's always hope. There's always hope that, if this made its way back, who's to say that the other episodes of Galaxy 4 didn't make their way back, or the other episodes of Underwater Menace, or whatever.
Yeah.
Who knows? Who knows? Mission to the Unknown, the Dalek Cutaway episode, the one-part or Hartnell episode without Hartnell.
I'd watch that. I'd like to see that because it's the first Doctor Light episode, isn't it?
Oh, it's very Doctor Light.
And it's full of weird aliens, like the guy who's literally just looks like a pepperoni pizza.
Do you want to know a little spoiler here of something?
Go on then. You've found Mission to the Unknown.
Yeah, it's under the
It's under the table.
It's with the evil. No. So
I probably made the audio peak.
Big
there.
Finish fans, turn away now. I've not listened to this, and I've not bought it, but I've read online that the latest Tom Baker box set, the villains in it are the monsters out of Mission to the Unknown. You know, the people around the table.
Yeah.
Like the cactus person, and they're the baddies.
Christ, Nicholas Briggs. They'll
And,
bring back anything.
well, I think they literally were like one of the last on the list to bring back. I don't know, it could work. I don't know. And I've given up on Tom Baker, Big Finish now, but that's beside the point. We're not talking about that.
Big Finish.
Yeah. So Mission to the Unknown was sold to only 2 places, okay? So it was sold to Australia, who might have junked it. We're not certain, but they might have junked it. But the thing about Australia is it was never broadcast there.
Was it?
Which is a bit weird.
Mm.
I think that's just because it was a one-episode thing that they couldn't really...
They'd already junked it.
Yeah. And then Singapore, we don't know about, but they probably junked it as well.
Mm.
I think Mission to the Unknown was kind of included with Dalek's Master Plan instead of the Feast of Stephen, which is the Christmas one. Because we'll come on to that later, but Feast of Stephen wasn't sold anywhere, I don't think. And they literally junked that. I think that's... I might be wrong as well, but I think that was one of the first ones to be junked. I think they did that only a few years after they started junking them. I think Highlanders was first. I think that was only junked like a few months, like 2 months after or something.
That was first, yeah.
But I think certainly Mission to the Unknown was one of the first. I might be wrong, I don't know. Mission to the Unknown, we don't have a lot really that we know about it. I mean, there's the space people in the episode, Space Security Service people. We don't even know what their costumes look like. So
Didn't even know there was space security people in it, so...
A lot of people that fight the Daleks in it, like...
Oh, is that what Nick Courtney was part of?
Yeah, but he's not in Mission to the Unknown.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we don't even know what the costumes look like because there was no pictures taken. So I think on the loose cannon reconstruction they used Sontar and Experiment costumes, kind of like photoshopped them in characters, which is kind of interesting.
Wouldn't surprise me if the BBC were just reusing them anyway.
Yeah, probably. So we've got 3 versions of the audio that was recorded. We've got no photos. Apart from, we do have a few photos of like the delegates and stuff.
Yeah, but they publicity photos or tell us now?
I think they were publicity because we have a few with Meredith Lambert in them, don't we, as well? 'Cause this was her last episode.
Oh right.
I believe. But no moving footage, no stuff that was filmed from people at home. We have a target book, which is kind of like merged with Dalek's Master Plan, they're both together. And then we have a reconstruction from Loose Cannon. And apparently, they're bringing out a new one soon. Rumour has it.
I was going to say, who's going to be the first to do that one? Because I was about to.
And the kind of last thing I can say about this is that Ian Levine made an animation of it, which you can view online. And have you watched it?
I didn't even know it existed.
Oh, right. And he's pitched it to the BBC. He spent loads and loads of money on it, pitched it to the BBC. BBC didn't want it.
Where can you view it online?
I think it's on Daily Motion. In fact, let me have a quick look. Because I remember when I was doing my marathon, I did download it. And I think I probably got it on a hard drive
I'd
somewhere.
like to see what kind of animation.
It's actually really good from what I remember.
I mean, if you find it, you're 2 meters away from me on the other side of a desk, and you can't turn the computer screen around. So
No, but I can see if I found it. Is that there?
audio description for me.
That might be it. There's an animation there. I'm not sure if it's the right one. Let's have a look. Hopefully the sound won't turn on. No. It's on Dailymotion, which is what we said.
I'm looking forward to this. I'm excited.
I remember it being quite good, like I say, but I'm not sure. Yep, it's on here. We found it. We found the animation.
What kind of anime? I'm gonna...
You can come round. You can
away
come
from
join me.
Mike.
Yeah.
Bye.
I think it's quite good, actually, from the looks of it.
Oh, on
It's
Mike
kind of...
now.
It's. I wouldn't say... Well, it's compared to the other ones, I think it's alright that we have. Oh,
Yeah.
That wasn't nice, that close-up, but...
It doesn't look...
Is there any Dalek action anywhere? There we are.
Oh, hello.
That's the guy, one of the delegates, and Dalek. I think he looks alright.
Yeah, oh, hold on, I'll go back to my mic. Hello.
Hello.
It looks pretty much the same as the PVC
Yeah,
standard
exactly.
of animation, so
Yeah, I wonder if the same people made it, maybe. I don't know.
essentially.
Yeah.
I mean, the BBC paid other studios, so there's no saying he couldn't have just paid the studio.
Yeah. And you know what? Fair play to Ian Levine. There's a lot of bad stuff that people say about him, but I think we do have a lot to owe him, because without him we wouldn't have the first 3 stories, would we?
Yeah, I've heard that he
Unearth a
saved
Child,
the,
Daleks, and Edge of Destruction.
yeah, he was like... He came in to get, like...
It was like the
got
day before.
Daleks, like,
Yeah. Or something ridiculous.
I think it was like 50 minutes. That's probably too much of an exaggeration. I don't know.
He probably exaggerates it himself. He probably says it was...
He
they were
burst through
chucking
the
it into the
wall
furnace.
as they lit the match.
But I think, you know what, and I know why people have an issue with him. And a lot of the stuff he said about the female doctor, whether you like the female doctor or not, a lot of stuff he said was quite bad on Twitter.
I don't.
Neither do I, but I remember seeing it at the
follow
time.
him,
And he said other things which you kind of think, well, why are you saying this and why are you doing that? But at the same time, it's like, well, we wouldn't have Unearth a Child, Daleks, and Destruction on our shelves at home right now if it wasn't for him, potentially. And I think he recovered other stuff like Time Meddler and War Machines. So, you know, to be fair to the guy, you know, we hate him, but we don't hate him, but
Peter personally hates.
a lot of the
Ian
fandom
Levine.
dislikes him, but I think we've got to turn around and be like, actually, I don't see you recovering War Machines from Nigeria or wherever he found it. Yeah. I don't
Nobody
know.
likes Phil Morris anymore either.
Exactly. It seems to be. I think it's because the thing is, when you become someone who's recovered missing episodes, apart from if you're maybe a private collector like Terry Burnett who got Galaxy 400 What Men's, if you're like a big hunter of these things, as soon as you find one,
So,
from that moment on,
if you haven't found the rest of them,
you're hiding the
you
rest of them. You've got the rest of them at home.
You can
No.
see why it'd be annoying. The only thing is, like, that would be annoying, but also you can't then go around saying, "Oh, the wind's blowing in the right direction."
Exactly. I remember Toby Haydock saying he just basically needs to put up or shut up. You know, because at this point, I mean, it's been what, 6 years since Enemy and Web? We're getting
Yeah.
on for 6 years.
If you've got nothing, just say it. Like, nobody would care.
Yeah, but this is the thing. If he said he had nothing, would that be an issue? Would that cause any issues?
It would make his life easier, I guess.
Yeah.
He'd lose a lot of Twitter followers.
Yeah, I saw someone online saying if he's got stuff, why doesn't he just say it? He doesn't have to put it in the public, but just why don't he just say what he's got?
I mean, I guess it's
Which I
all
think is
like,
stupid because you wouldn't, would you?
it's legal rights as well and negotiating from some other countries, but like, you know, that's cool. Just don't keep teasing it
Yeah,
while you're doing
exactly.
it.
Just stay quiet. It's like I'm sure he put on one of Doctor Who's anniversaries. He put on a picture of Evil of the Daleks, not like Unearth a Child or anything, but Evil of the Daleks. And it's like, well, why would you put an episode that everyone wants back as a picture?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking too much into it, but yeah, I don't know. And this thing as well. People have issues with Phil Morris. A lot of people don't like Phil Morris, but again, you've got to think. Well, if it wasn't for him, we wouldn't have Web of Fear and Enemy of the World.
Everyone just turns against. It's like that Batman quote. If you, that's gonna annoy me because I can't remember. It's something like, yeah, you either die a hero or live long enough to see yourself become the villain.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, and it's true though, isn't it? It's true. It's like, well, if Phil Morris never gets anything back now, he sadly might be remembered for the guy who brought a few episodes back and then messed people about for the next 20 years.
Yeah.
Which is true to an extent, but it's like, well,
Like I say,
I think his heart's in the right place.
Yeah, it's fine. Just don't like tease.
But the thing is, well, I'm sure if you're in that position, you would tease. I don't know. I feel like temptation.
Because you just make more hassle for yourself.
Yeah, but he likes the attention, doesn't he? I think. And I'm sure at a convention last year he said that something's coming this year. So if we're getting something,
says that every year.
It might be here. You never know. But yeah, he does literally say that every year. So I would not get too excited. Myth makers.
My favourite.
Yes. Now this is what I was saying before. This is the one that I always forget exists.
It's the one with the wooden horse.
Yeah. What I didn't realise until recently actually was I think until the early 2000s the missing horse prop was lost and they found it and took a load of new pictures of it.
Yeah, I seem to remember seeing pictures of the Trojan horse in the episode, but then somebody said there is no pictures of it, so it must be from something else.
Yeah, but then I think they found it, didn't they? I think.
I don't know. It's on the Wikipedia page. Keep talking, I'll find it.
Okay. So I'll say to where it was sold while we're waiting, and Dan won't interrupt me this time because he doesn't have the document up. So
I'm going to stop what I'm doing just to do it.
It was sold to Australia, where they returned it to the BBC in 1975. Sierra Leone, who returned it in 1974. Singapore, we don't know what happened to it. So the only place we could potentially find it is Singapore, unless it somehow didn't get returned to the BBC in the other instances, like Galaxy 4. But again, with this one, we've got the audio. We don't have any telesnaps, and there's very few photos, and a lot of the photos we have are very similar. But we do have a few bits of footage that people filmed at home. We have the target book, we have the reconstruction, and then obviously we don't have any animation, because I don't think it's popular enough to get animation. So looking at that, I mean, it's one of them really. It does seem to be in that category of we don't know a lot about, and there isn't much in the way of stuff existing for it.
There's a picture of the Trojan horse on the Wikipedia.
Is it a black and white picture?
It is, and it matches the picture on the front of the Target novel, so it must be. But I'm sure it said somewhere like, is there any, not footage but stills from it?
There's no telesnaps, so there's no pictures that someone took at home, but there is like publicity photos.
Okay, so there probably is pictures of the Trojan horse.
Yeah, and like I say, I know they found it. I want to say recently, but probably nearly 20 years ago now. They found the actual prop and they took a load of new pictures of it in colour. Yeah. So do you think this one's any good, or do you think I don't know what to say? Do you think it's Vicky's last story, isn't it?
Is it? Cool. I don't know anything about this one.
Okay. And Katerina's first story.
Yeah, I was going to say Katerina.
Yeah.
Katerina.
Yeah.
Katerina!
Take him back to Kimball! It's too far.
It's peaked the audio.
Yeah. If anybody's listening on headphones, like we are...
I'm listening on headphones.
Then you are hurting right now. So what do you think, Mythmakers? Anything you want to say about that one?
I have no feelings
no opinion,
either way.
No feelings on it.
No, but I found the Wife in Space page for it, so that's exciting. How is there... Is there going to be a reconstruction for this?
There must be, yeah. I think they did watch the reconstructions.
How? If there's no telesnaps?
Well, I think this is the thing with the reconstructions. They were so initiated. Like, they had so much cool stuff. So they had, obviously, the clips that people had filmed from home. They had the publicity photos. And I think they had, like, Photoshop stuff occasionally. So say you've got no pictures of an actor from Doctor Who, you'd get them as a picture of something else. And you'd put their head on another actor's. You know what I mean? I don't know. You'd make composites. Yeah, but I don't know. It's a weird one. Mythmakers. It's just kind of there, isn't it? No one's. I've never seen anybody like, oh, I really want Mythmakers back.
I'm sure if it came back, it'll be everybody's favourite. It'll be reassessed.
I think this is the thing. I think if any of these stories, if a complete lot of a story came back, it'd be the best thing ever. But if you get only 1 or 2 episodes back, it's probably not gonna make much of a difference.
Imagine if Space Pirates is like the best episode ever.
Yeah. I feel like there's some episodes, though, that if it was like a one-off and it came back, wouldn't get much hype online.
Yeah.
Like, people just thought, is that it? Like, this is the thing with Phil Morris. If he came back now and turned around and said, right, I've got 1 episode of Wheel in Space, have fun, guys, and we never heard of him again, people would be like, right, is that it?
It'd be even worse if it wasn't a Cyberman one.
I know.
It's like, oh,
episode 1 with the corridor.
I've got episode 2 of the Space Pirates. Wait, is that the one that exists? Episode 5 of the Space Pirates.
Do you know, actually, we'll come on to it more in the Charlton one, but there was someone who had an early form of, not necessarily video recording, but managed to record a whole episode of the Space Pirates. Like, record a whole episode. But the unfortunate thing is, the episode he recorded is the one we already have. But he also recorded.
Oh,
this is the more heartbreaking thing for you here. He also recorded Evil of the Daleks, but he wiped his own copy of it.
What?
This is in the 60s. He was a kid. He didn't care, or he was, whatever.
Fair enough.
Now I heard a rumor online saying, well, maybe there's a chance we can get the underlayer of the tape. You know what I mean? We can salvage it back somehow. But I don't think that's ever going to happen. I think
Underlayer of a tape.
You know what I mean? Like, you can see the I don't know. Negative. I'm not an expert.
No, fair, but I wiped all of my short films as a kid.
Exactly. Some of the things,
For the best.
This is one of the reasons why when I'm making a film, whatever, I never get rid of the raw footage, and I never get rid of the outtakes and stuff, because I always think, well,
there are some things you need to intentionally get rid of.
In 50 years' time, they might be artifacts.
Yeah.
Now is the big boy, the massive one, the 12-parter, the epic, the Daleks Master Plan.
You really built it up. I like it.
Yeah.
You got much to say.
I'm going to depress you now.
Massive build-up. You're like, yep.
I'm going to depress you. It was only sold to one place. Australia.
See, I didn't realise Mission to the Unknown was sold to two places. I thought that was just one.
Yeah, I thought it was actually, but
Master Plan.
Yeah, apparently Singapore had a bit of the action. Which is imagine being in Singapore and getting Mission to the Unknown and not getting Daleks Master Plan.
All right.
But what's this leading up to?
Getting the teas, nothing else.
Yeah. Okay, so what do we know about the Australian prints? They're
Australian.
We know nothing about them.
They're upside down.
We don't know if they were returned. We don't know if they weren't due. All we know about them is episode 7 wasn't in the deal. So they never got episode 7. Which
That's
is
Feast of Stephen.
Yeah. And I think there's a strong chance that the episodes we got back, so 2, 5 and 10, there's a strong chance that they were the Australian ones. Because they're either the Australian ones or the original film prints. And I think, I might be wrong here, but I think there's a higher chance of them being the Australia one. And if so, this is like the Galaxy 4 thing. If they were returned, somehow they've leaked their way out of the BBC and someone's stolen them. Yeah. And well done, mates, you did. We're really grateful. And if not, then that means the BBC print somehow got out, or you know what I mean? There's another thing here. And this leads us on to say, well, if they got out, what's to say that the other ones didn't?
Yeah.
I feel
like they would have shown up, though.
By now,
in the same, route that the other ones did.
Yeah, but this is the thing with private collectors, isn't it? There's a whole thing going around. Because remember, Paul Venisi said there is definitely 1 or 2 episodes with private collectors that he knows of.
1 or 2 episodes, in general, or Master Plan?
In general. He knows for a fact. He's met the people. He knows they've got missing episodes.
Yeah, it's just...
But they're not the sort of people you want to ignite.
Yeah, but it's Master Plan... Yeah, because they'll ignite the tapes.
Yeah, exactly.
No, Master Plan specifically. So the guy who stole them, basically.
Yeah.
Did he just, He's like, I'm going to take 1, 3 and 8 or something.
2, 5 and 10. I don't know. I don't really know about this. I know 1 was discovered in 2004 and 2 in 1983. So I don't know if that was...
Oh, so they weren't the same?
No, so 2 and then 1.
Okay, so they weren't the same guy. Okay.
No. And I think the 2 that were in the 80s, I think they were at a car boot sale. That's what I was trying to say before.
Car boot sale.
There we are. They were at a car boot sale.
You'd get it.
I'm not sure about the other one, but either way, this is what I mean. So this car boot sale, somehow the episodes got there, whether through the BBC or other stuff.
I remember as a kid, and to be honest, still now, every time I'd see a car boot sale and went towards it, I'd be like, do you think that they've got, Daleks Master Plan just sat there? Oh, look, here's 10th Planet Part 4.
I still think that now.
How much is it, mate? Oh, it's just £1. It's just a load of old tapes. And I'm like, cool. And I bring it back to the BBC, and I'm like a national hero.
Well, I remember there was there's a park near where me and you live, and they have a sign up that says local fun fair coming to town. And I remember a few years ago I saw that sign. I was like, oh my god, they might have something there. They might have something there. And even now when I walk past that sign, I'm always like, they might have something.
Every time we see a car boot sale, I think it's just a bit like, what if they've got evil?
Yeah. I remember I went to a car boot sale once because I thought they might have something, and I got there and I walked around a bit and it was
so disappointing, isn't it?
All they had is the only Doctor Who thing they had was one of those 3.75 Dalek figures.
That's fairly recently then.
Yeah.
No, I only saw them as a kid, and they just had loads of broken action men and car toys with wheels missing. I was like, this isn't evil.
Yeah, it is evil though.
Well, it is evil.
Keep talking while I make my chocolate.
No, because I want to eat chocolate. What chocolate is it?
It's Whisper Bar.
Ooh.
Right, so we've got the audio. Tick. There's no telesnaps. No telesnaps.
No.
But there is
But are there any telesnaps?
20 or so images of the Feast of Stephen, which Robert Jewell, one of the actors in it, took on his TV. Or of his TV. And obviously, like I say, we've got episodes 2, 5 and 10. We've got a film reel of episode 1, which was discovered in 1991, which is a sequence of the Daleks with the flamethrowers. You've probably seen it.
Yes.
And we've got some of episode 2 as well. Again, that's a film reel of, I think, the same sort of thing. Daleks going through the forest.
It just looks so, like, action-packed.
I always think
the
it's...
60s
yeah,
stuff.
I was going to say,
love
I always
it.
think it's crazy how epic it is for 60s. And 12 parts. I mean, blind. Imagine just sitting there. That's like 3 months, isn't it, of Doctor Who? That's like a new series. Longer than a new series of Doctor Who.
Imagine them doing that now, like a whole series is just this massive, sprawling Dalek thing. I'd love that.
Yeah, no, that'd be great, wouldn't it? What else exists? We've got 98 seconds of episode 3, and we've got 58 seconds of episode 4. And both of those exist because of Blue Peter. Because Blue Peter took out, I think, episode 4, which is the Traitors. They took that out to show. I always think it's weird again that the scene they showed. So that you've got, imagine you're Blue Peter and you've been given a film can of a Dalek episode to show a clip of, and you don't choose a scene with the Daleks in. You choose a scene of a companion dying, who most of the audience wouldn't even know because they're only on for 5 weeks in the 60s. No, you got to remember this was mid-70s.
That was a big moment, I guess.
I suppose so.
So it's good that they did.
I mean, we're very lucky to have it now, I guess, because with that was 10th Planet Regeneration scene, wasn't it? Can you imagine not having the regeneration? How good that would be.
Out of everything.
Seeing one picture of a regeneration thing, I wonder how they did that. And then being let down when it's
We'd
discovered.
never be able to watch those every regeneration
Yeah.
videos.
Yeah, which we always watch on YouTube.
No, you do, mate.
No. Maybe. Now, what else is there of this? So, there's a Target book. There's an unofficial comic, which looks actually quite good, to be fair. Maybe worth seeing if I can track that down, because that looks quite good. And then there's a reconstruction, which was made in 2003. And there's no animation, but there is a few on YouTube, if you're into the fan-made stuff.
I reckon they'll animate it one day.
I think they will. I think it's got to be up there.
It's a long one, but, like, everybody wants it.
Yeah.
And there's clearly still money to be made if they're doing that massive vinyl set this year.
Yeah, true. Oh yeah, because they're re-releasing that, aren't they, with Mission to the Unknown. And that's £100. Is there really a market for that? I mean, I know I want it, but not for 100.
There will be, yeah.
I mean, who has that much disposable or indisposable income?
I was thinking about starting a vinyl collection a few weeks ago.
And it's just a price, isn't it? Really?
Yeah, there's a Smiths box set that, like, of this special edition featuring of one of their albums called The Queen Is Dead. That's got like a bunch of demo tracks on. That's 4 vinyls. That's £70.
Oh, it's crazy.
So how many?
It's an expensive hobby, but I suppose a lot of the stuff. I mean, people would say the same to us. You know, say you spend £50, £40 on Blu-ray box sets. It's like, well, yeah, but
how many discs is in the Master Plan set? Is it 4?
How many vinyls?
Yeah,
7.
7. Okay, so the 4 discs of Smith set's 70. So 7 for
70.
100.
70 what? 70 discs, did you say? Or
70 pounds.
Oh, right. But it's 70 vinyls. I was like, blimey, that's all right.
It's a real big box.
Pound of vinyl. Back to Dark's Master Plan then, I guess. There's 2 rumours that I can pull out the air for this one. So there's the episode 4, which Blue Peter loaned. And I always think it's odd that we never got that back, because the person who was the producer on Blue Peter notoriously kept every single Blue Peter episode because she thought it was important to keep them. So I always think, well, if she was looking after them so tightly, why did she never look after the Blue Peters? And after the Dark Master Plans? I don't know. So I think one day we might get that back. I think there's a private collector that'll have this in 10th Planet Part 4. That's my idea on it.
Definitely not definitely, but I feel like part 4 somebody will have. It's just
10th Planet.
People want money for it, yeah.
Yeah. I think there's a hoax to that, which we'll come on to later on. The other rumour to do with Dark's Master Plan was that instead of junking Feast of Stephen, the Christmas one, apparently William Hartnell was given it.
Yeah, well,
which I think has been debunked.
I debunked that for you.
Did you?
Yeah.
I don't remember this. But
Yeah, it was on one of our walks because I'm pretty sure somebody said that he actually got like just a 20-minute. No.
Oh, it was
maybe
Dalek Invasion of Earth,
20-minute
wasn't it?
clip of Invasion of Earth. Yeah.
Right, fair enough. Okay.
But I don't know which part or exact length.
Yeah, that does
But
sound.
that was his leaving gift.
It does sound right, actually. Yeah, so there's not really a lot we can say about Dalek's Master Plan. It's a nice one. It'd be nice to have back. I suppose we should be lucky that we've got 2, 5, and 10 back. 'Cause apparently we'd never thought we'd have them back.
Yeah, like I said though, it's just weird that we've got more of that than say Marco.
Yeah. It's crazy, isn't it? You can't say, really, that's going to be the most likely one to get back. Because it's not necessarily true. Because you've got to remember, Marco Polo was sent to 9 places. We haven't got a single clip of that. We haven't got like a 2-second clip, nothing. And Dalek's Master Plan, we've got 3 episodes, and then there's another 3 or 4 episodes we've got loads of clips from. So it's like, it's a weird thing. Not that I'm complaining. Although it would be nice to see Marco Polo back. Next, the massacre of St. Bartholomew's Eve. Another one that I think everyone forgets about, but one that I think would be great to have back because first appearance of Dodo, which isn't what I'm getting excited about here.
Oh my god!
But it's also William Hartnell plays the Abbot as well. I think it'd be interesting to see him play someone else.
Yeah, it's an episode I've never had any interest in for a long time until I kind of thought about the idea of Hartnell against Hartnell. It was seeing.
But they never meet. They don't meet in it.
Did they not?
No.
Oh. So no, that was watching Enemy. That I was like, oh, it'd be cool to see that. What I imagine is the Hartnell.
Yeah, so they don't meet, and the Abbot's actually in it more than the Doctor. I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure the Doctor's not even in a few of the episodes.
I didn't realise it didn't meet. That's a bit disappointing. I don't want it back now.
So there's that, but also this is another episode where we haven't got any pictures of, like I said before, there's no clips of the William Hartnell dressed as the Abbot. So it'd be interesting to at least see something of that, even if it's just a few clips, whatever. I know in the Celestial Toymaker, there's a bit where they replay clips of Dalek's Master Plan and Celestial Toymaker and Massacre. So if we get Celestial Toymaker Part 1 back, we might get a few clips of these back as well, which would be interesting. But the big thing for me with Massacre, the big thing that I'm really excited about and I love, is one of the final scenes is Stephen having to go at the Doctor for not changing time and saving people. And Stephen just says, wherever we next land, I'm getting out, I'm leaving. He leaves the TARDIS, and the Doctor kind of just sits there alone, and he just thinks about going back to his own planet. And I think that's
Is that the one where he's like, they're all gone?
Yeah, all of them. I think that's probably my favourite Hartnell scene, and I'd love to have that back. I know there's other highlights like Dalek Invasion of Earth, Farewell and stuff, but I think that's a great scene, because especially when the show wasn't really delving into the mystery of the Doctor, and that's not a reference to the audio series, especially when it wasn't talking about where he'd come from and who he left with. I think it's a great scene because it's basically just him on his own. It's a bit of a monologue, saying maybe I should get back to my own people, and none of them could understand. Susan didn't understand. Ian and Barbara. I think it would have been really nice. And a little fact for you as well, fun fact. The final part of the massacre, Ian and Barbara were meant to witness the TARDIS materialising at the end of it.
Oh, I think you told me this.
And then it's replaced with an old woman walking a dog. Because they couldn't. I think that's because they couldn't get William Russell or something. Or Jackie Hill.
That would have been like a nice little...
reference, yeah.
Yeah. Because it'd be the first kind of idea of like, this is what they did afterwards.
Yeah.
They could still do that, couldn't they? They could still do just a companion walking by as like a nice little nod.
Yeah. I think it's one of them though. I think with Doctor Who, it's difficult to... I'm going a bit on tangent here, but it's difficult to see what the thing is between too much continuity and not enough. But I think something like that would be really nice. Even if they did it with a new series, just Donna walking past in the background.
Yeah,
but it's how much you do it.
I feel like nowadays the companions are too important. Not that they weren't important back then, but they're more central
like
now.
Clara, yeah.
So if you have, and like, you know, just the way things are, like, you know, Karen Gillan now, say, is obviously a Hollywood actress. Jenna Coleman, obviously, you know. Yeah. So to just have them in like one scene as like a little thing at the end of an episode, but it's not really worth it.
I always think that the thing with Doctor Who is I always think it's weird that when the companions leave, that's basically all we get of them. Yeah. You know, you look back to the 60s companions, and a lot of them never feature again in the show. never feature in multi-Doctor stories or anything. They don't have much on Big Finish that explain what happens to them afterwards. And I always just think, wouldn't it be nice to see what some of them are doing?
Partly just down to age and
Yeah.
the fact that some of them just aren't with us anymore. And like Jackie Lane just doesn't want to have anything
true.
to do with it.
But having said that, I suppose the Companion Chronicles, which I've been listening to a lot of recently, they do delve into like the lives of like some of the other companions after they've left. So I think there's ones of like Zoe and Jamie explaining what their travel's like and where they are now. And I think there's one where Stephen becomes a king on the planet of the savages and stuff. So there's a bit of it, but
I still think they missed a trick by not having William Russell in any of the Cole Hill episodes.
Oh yeah, I know. That was the thing though. I think he's a bit too old now because he's not doing Big Finish anymore. But I think it would have been lovely, 5 years ago. Even if just like a little, even if it was, William Russell running into the classroom to talk to Clara and say, "There's this man's phoned."
Even if Clara just runs past him in the corridor on the way to the motorbike.
Yeah, and I always think, what I would have loved, just briefly going to other stuff here, is I would have loved it if the moment had taken on a few different forms, like Susan. I think that would have been amazing. I don't know.
I guess you can't really do Susan now, though, because Carol Ann Ford doesn't really look anything like she did in the 60s.
Does that matter?
If
it's the moment.
Some people, I guess. Oh, yeah, I don't know.
She aged anyway, didn't she? You know what I mean? She never regenerated. She's not like there's an end point for her. She can be as old as she wants.
Yeah.
I guess.
It's not how the Doctor would remember. I don't know the science behind it.
Yeah, I don't know. We are way off track. What are we talking about? Massacre.
Oh, yeah.
But no, I think going back, I think it'd be nice to see more of companions. I know there's a few, and I think there's an audio called The Five Companions where Polly, Nyssa, Sarah Kingdom, which is a random one, Ian and Stephen meet up in the Death Zone, which is an interesting concept. Right, the massacre. So where was that sent to? You asked me.
Mauritius.
No, you asked me where it was sent to.
Where was it sent to, Pete?
It wasn't sent to Mauritius. We're past that now. It's only seasons 1 and 2. They didn't want it after that. It was sent to Australia, who junked it in 1976, Sierra Leone, who returned it to BBC in 1974, and Singapore. We don't know where that went. Could still be out there. Probably isn't. But obviously we've got the audio. There's no telesnaps, but a few more photos have been found recently. There's no moving footage of it. There's a novelisation. There's 2 versions of the loose cannon reconstruction. And there's no animation. But like I say, that scene at the end with the Doctor saying, maybe I should go back to my own planet, I'm pretty sure someone online has animated that. And not the best animation ever, but it's worth watching. Yeah, it's worth watching.
So I'm just making loads of noise in the background of that.
Oh, it's fine.
Eat and drink.
It's fine.
Catching up.
And I don't know if there's any rumours regarding this. I'm not sure if you've heard any. I've certainly not heard anything.
All of the big rumours focus on evil or something.
Yeah.
Or wheel. That's kind of how you can sometimes tell a fake. Like, you never hear any...
Yeah.
Nobody ever accidentally finds the myth makers in their basement, do they?
No. Celestial Toy Maker.
That'd be an interesting one, because it looks so weird.
Yep.
I'd be interested to know what happens regarding the controversial line.
Oh, yeah.
If they ever found it, would they just release it uncut?
I forgot about that,
I imagine if they cut it or censored it, there'd be a little bit of, like, pushback.
Like, we waited 50 years to get it, now you cut it out.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I think I'd like it kept in. For a standpoint of, that's the episode as it was. But obviously we can't say these things now. I think you told me that Disney released a lot of stuff like that, but then they put one at the start.
No, yeah, Warner Brothers with Looney Tunes.
Yeah. And I think if they did something like that, it'd be good. Yeah. I think the audio version of it had Peter Purves doing narration over the top of it.
Yeah, you told me that one.
So that kind of hit it a little bit, but you couldn't really do that.
Just in general, I'd like to see that one, because like, it just looks like a kind of imposing villain, and I don't like clowns, so it'll be genuinely spooky.
It's quite a visual one as well, isn't it? I remember... I must have been, again, this is how young I was in year 5, year 6, and I came home from work and I stuck the CD on and it was just the best thing ever. And I watched episode 4, and episode 4 was good. And the Celestial Toymaker is a villain that's always interested me. We haven't really seen much of him since. Michael Gough does a great job of the Toymaker. Yeah, he does a good job. So where was it sold to? Again, we'll get a bit of a trend now. So it's the same 3 places that the rest of season 3 was sent to, really. So Australia, who junked it in 1976. But the weird thing about this is that episode 4 survived. And it shouldn't have done. Because if they've junked, obviously they've junked them. They're junked, aren't they? So a lot of people think 1 to 3 might be out there somewhere. Either that, or they junked 1 to 3, and 4 was just at the bottom of the cupboard somewhere and it was just forgotten about, and it's meant to be junked. I don't know. You got any thoughts on that? Do you think it'll be out there 1 to 3 or not?
Don't know. I don't like to say any episodes are likely to be out there more than others, because we've seen it's not always the case. But
would you say this is the best Dodo story? Does it deserve that?
I honestly don't know. I couldn't tell you anything about Dodo stories. So, the Hartnell ones were the ones that I watched, like, while doing something else. So, especially towards the end. So I don't remember Dodo anyway.
Well, there's only, I think, 2 full stories, isn't there?
I only really remember from, well, I don't even remember. I just know I've seen the War Machines. So.
Yeah, she's in the Ark, Gunfighters. 2 stories which a lot of people don't like. I like the Ark.
It just pisses off halfway through the
and
War
then
Machines.
she's only in half of that one, which I think is a bit weird. I don't know. I don't know what I think of Cecil Toymaker. I like Cecil Toymaker. But it's one of them. I think if it got back, would I like it as much? I don't know.
I think, like, because you obviously immerse yourself in Doctor Who a lot more than I do, so you listen to the books.
I just put books in my ear.
You listen to the audios, you read the books. That's what I meant. And then, like, your glasses don't turn it off. No.
Quite honest you talk.
You're gonna get content idea. Okay, this is gonna be distracting. So you immerse yourself in a lot more media, so you know the episodes a lot better. And I can't even remember my original point anymore.
Oh, right.
What was I gonna say? Oh, you're asking me about
Cecil Toymaker.
Remembering Dodo or something.
I don't know, probably.
I've genuinely forgotten where I was going with this.
Okay.
Because of that song.
Well, we'll put the music on then.
No, we're gonna get content ID'd.
Oh, I don't care. Right, well, I'm sure I'll come back to you, so we'll keep talking.
Background. You genuinely.
Yeah, I'm just leaving it on. It went a bit of background noise. So the audio exists. Telesnaps, I assume, exist, but again, I don't have a source for that. You can hear that now, can't you? Episode 4 exists in full, as we know. There's a target book, there's loose cannon reconstructions, but there's no animation. And I'd like to see an animation of this one, because of how visual it is. Do you agree?
I don't know anymore. Stop.
Right, I'll turn off. Gunfighters isn't missing, by the way. So you can listen to that in full with the episodes. Whenever you like. So anything else you want to say about Celestial? Apart from that, they got complaints from a few viewers. Not because of the racist thing. I wonder if that got complaints. I assume it didn't.
Because they're clowns.
No, it was because there was a character in it called Cyril, who, when you look at a picture of him, and I think there's a kid's character who I don't really know a lot about, but I assume was a well-known character in the 60s called Billy Bunter. Does that ring any bells?
No.
Well, apparently they were too similar, and they didn't get sued, but they had to do a continuity apology and be like, we apologise that Cyril looks too much like Billy Bunter. We respect the people who made Billy Bunter, and we're not trying to rip him off.
I have to Google this.
Well, they found because they found some new audio, didn't they? The Randolph tapes. Do you know the new audio of Dalek's Master Plan to Underwater Menace? And they have a lot more continuity announcements on it. So that's one of the recent things they've found.
I'm looking at the character of Billy Bunter, but can't see any photos of him.
He's not the Doctor Who character. It's Cyril, the other one. But yeah.
I can't.
No.
Oh,
but
yeah,
they got, you know what I mean? You can see the resemblance, hopefully.
Yeah, no, there you go. I can see
same
that.
Trousers, same kind of fat belly.
Yeah, no. Yeah.
It is a massive rip-off, isn't it, really, when you think about it?
Yeah, even down to, like, the polka dot bow tie.
Yeah. So I don't think they got sued or anything, but they got done.
That didn't come till Happiness Patrol.
Yeah. So yeah, they didn't get a lot of positive feedback about that. I wonder. This is another thing. I wonder if Celestial Toymaker was found and released on DVD. Would they do anything about that? Would they say, put an announcement before saying we didn't mean to rip him off, but we did? Or is it not something that really matters?
I don't really think anyone will care at this point.
No.
I haven't heard of Billy Hunt.
No, neither had I.
Today, so.
But I assume it was a well-known thing in the 60s. Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Enough to cause a fuss.
Yeah, exactly. Enough to get a complaint and then continuity announcement at the end. We'll move on then. Savages. Another one that I think a lot of people forget about.
So I always just assumed that this was historical, but cause I kind of lump it in with the smugglers. They just kind of merge into one.
No, this one's set in the far, far future, as Hartnell says. And this was... in a way, aren't all ladies made of glass?
Oh no.
Sorry.
Can you transition from Hartnell to Yoda?
No, I can't. So the Savages, I think, is most well known for being Peter Purves' last story. And
Had enough. Kicked off.
Yeah, the stories weren't good enough. I think his contract just ended, to be fair. But
I mean, Stephen kicked off with the Doctor.
Oh right, probably yeah.
Did he? I'd like to see that. See, that's the thing that you mentioned about that Stephen bit. I've been thinking about it. I'd like to see that because you don't
massacre.
You don't really see people like kicking off.
Yeah, not
It's
in the
kinda
classics anyway.
It's like, yeah, especially in classics.
Because you've got
like,
Clara going, you're a bloody arse, you Capaldi, you're a bloody arse.
Yes, but that's not emotionally impactful.
Exactly.
You just look at that but like, say Donna in Fires of Pompeii.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, I think Rose did it in Father's Day as well. To an extent. I think, yeah.
Don't watch the Eccleston ones.
What? Because they're the best, and you want to savour them as much as you can.
Yeah, sure.
The other thing about the Savages, and it's more to do with the gunfires, which I won't put the music back on. But the final clip of the gunfires, which leads into the Savages, was used on the obituary for William Hartnell when he died. Like on BBC News, it's like, William Hartnell has died. Here's a clip of the Savages. And it's just him saying, this is the far, far future. And I'm not sure if that clip exists because of that. I assume it doesn't, but I don't know. The thing I always remember about the Savages is, a few years ago, it was listed on eBay. A film can of it was listed on eBay. But it turned out to be a hoax. So, that's fun, isn't it? Nice little hoax there. So where was it sold to? So it was sold to Australia, and they junked it in 1976. Sierra Leone, where it was returned to the BBC in 1974, and Singapore, where we don't really know what happened to it. The audio obviously exists. Telesnaps exists for all 4 episodes. 8mm footage exists for 3 and 4 of Stephen Leven. Some clips of Stephen Leven, actually. I'm not sure if you've ever seen those, Dan.
No,
they're on Lost in Time. They're worth watching.
Oh, I probably have them if they're on Lost in Time.
Yeah. There's a target
I probably
book.
watched them in the back of a car on a journey somewhere.
Yeah. Loose cannon reconstruction and no animation. Do you think this one would be an interesting one to do, or is it kind of just like the forgotten one that no one really cares about?
I don't really know much about it. I guess some things like that you'll only really find a new appreciation for if they actually return, like Enemy of the World.
Yeah. Yeah, because nobody liked Enemy, did they, really, before that came back? Let's save that for the 7th Doctor.
The 7th Doctor missing episode.
Yeah.
7th Doctor episodes we
I wish
were missing.
Yeah. Oh, Paradise Tower. We can't say that. We'll get done for saying that. We should be very grateful that Time They're On is in the archives. I am grateful, don't worry.
Alright.
See, this is the thing that I just weirdly going on to this now. Do you think if something like season 24 is missing, people would be like obsessed with getting it back as much?
Yes.
Or do you think there's something about the magic of the Hartnell ones and Troughton ones?
I don't know.
I feel like if I suppose the thing with that is if Time of the Run is his first story, so if that was missing, it'd be...
I feel like if it was like some parts of episodes were missing, so like if like one part of the Happiness Patrol existed and everything else was missing, you'd probably be able to look at the 2 parts and be like, yeah, no, I'm not that arsed if the other one doesn't.
Yeah.
Even to be fair, I like that one.
Yeah, it's
because we
alright.
watched it it wasn't bad, was it?
Yeah, it's one of them. I like it in small doses, but something about it.
It was a bad choice, but like, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
people can see. It's like with Space Pirates, nobody's really asked about it because they've seen the one episode and didn't really like it.
See, this thing I love, and don't judge me for it because I know you're gonna. I love Delta and the Bannerman. I think apart from the budget and the Ken Dodd stuff, which is weird, I think Delta and the Bannerman's quite a good story.
Yeah, we've had this argument before.
We'll leave that for another video or another podcast. So what more can be said about the Savages? It's Stephen last story. It's apparently Dodo's the best in this one. If you watch the reconstruction, apparently she has the most stuff to do, and she doesn't randomly change her accent in between episodes like she does in Massacre in the Ark.
Is she?
Yeah, in the Massacre she's Cockney.
No.
And then the next one she's BBC voice. No, she
proper radio presenter now.
She genuinely changes her voice in between episodes, which is weird. And I'm sure there's a novel or something that goes to some great effort to explain why she changed her voice.
Yeah, I can imagine that.
Yeah. Sort of thing Stephen Moffat would do, I think. The windows are the wrong size. Yeah, who cares? Smugglers.
Again.
Sweet Papa Smuggler.
You literally could have
Mixed them up.
The titles. Yeah, you could have told me about the Savages and called it the Smugglers, and told me about Smugglers and called it Savages. I wouldn't know any better. Like,
yeah.
They're just the two ones at the end of Hartnell that are both called the something beginning with S. And that's all they are to me.
Well, this is season 4 now, though. So this is the season opener.
Oh, good. That means we're almost finished.
Yeah.
I'm joking.
The thing with the Smugglers is, because I used to for a while think if I had the choice over Savages or Smugglers, which one would I rather have back? But the thing with the Smugglers is, you've actually got Ben and Polly first seen in a TARDIS, which I think is quite nice.
Is this the one where there's like a load of location footage?
And there's a behind the scenes video of it, actually, which you can watch on Lost in Time. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's in colour as well, weirdly.
Not like, yeah, that's what I meant, the behind the scenes footage.
Mm-hmm. So this was sold to the three amigos again. Australia, where it was returned to the BBC in 1975. Sierra Leone, where it was returned to the BBC in 1974. And Singapore, which we don't know what happened to it. I think someone should check out Singapore and see what's there, because it seems to be a lot. I'm sure Phil Morris is doing it right now.
Everybody sign up to our Patreon, and we'll go.
We'll do a holiday there.
We don't have a Patreon yet.
No, we'll go. Right.
Go fund me. We want to go to Singapore to look for Doctor Who.
Yeah. And, what exists? The audio. There's 2 copies of that. A full set of telesnaps. The censored clips from Australia, which is from episodes 1, 3 and 4, and they were found in the mid-90s. It's a shame they didn't censor the whole episode, because maybe we'd have the whole episode. Do you know what I mean? Like,
it's all bad.
A target book and loose cannon and no animation. The thing with the censored clips is he actually faked that he was a university student doing it for research, and that's how he got in to find them.
The advert just came up.
Oh, wow.
Sorry. It's an advert for a tailoring company. It's just like a 5-year-old kid in like a 50-year-old man suit that's like massive, and it made me laugh. Okay.
Moving on.
10th planet.
This podcast is far from being all over.
Oh.
A full reference there.
Do it in your accent. Do your impression.
It's far from being all over. I can't do it on the microphone. It doesn't sound right.
Over from
I
being,
must get back
far.
to the TARDIS. A jolly good smack button for you.
Jolly good, the smacked bottom.
In a way, aren't all ladies made of glass?
I'm going to stop doing that Yoda impression.
Okay.
It's strange when you can hear your own voice.
It's weird, isn't it?
It's like, I would do such a great Yoda impression, and I hear it back, and it's like, oh no.
Yeah, same with the Hartnell
I've been embarrassing myself a lot.
Yeah. Some of those friendships only to be broken up now. 10th planet was only sold to 2 places. Pretty sad. Australia, returned in 1975. And Singapore, fate unknown. Again, we really need to get out to Singapore, guys, if you've not already been there. So there's audio for this one. And the weird thing about the audio for this one, and I'm not sure if it's the same for all missing episodes, is that the audio that was recorded by someone at home is actually better than the real audio. So if you watch a DVD of the 10th Planet, the audio used on episode 2 is actually something that someone's recorded at home rather than the actual film audio. It's a bit weird, isn't it? That just shows how good some of the sound was that these people got. There's a full set of telesnaps. There's moving images, also known as episodes 1 to 3. And
we call that a video here.
And obviously we've got the regeneration scene due to Blue Peter and some other 8mm clips of footage. And there's a target book, a reconstruction, and there's actually a BBC reconstruction for this one.
Just that one, isn't there? Just the end.
And the Planet 55 animation, which we've watched. So the big rumour I can talk to you about this one is the episode 4, which Blue Peter had.
Yes.
And do you think we'll ever see that again?
I feel like, yeah, because it's the one a lot of people are most interested in.
But it was only told to 2 places, wasn't it? That's the thing.
Yeah,
Or 3 if you include Blue Peter.
I could imagine somebody like a private collector having it. They'd be wanting a lot of money for it.
Yeah. I don't even think it's necessarily about money half the time. I think the thing with private collectors is imagine you had something that no one else had. It's so rare. And if you let that onto the public, it's not rare anymore, is it? You can pick it up in the high street. And the thing is then, your collection's worthless. Pretty much.
Yeah, but there's also, like, the question of, like, does it have value if nobody knows it exists?
Yeah,
you know, like,
behind closed doors, isn't it? Really?
Why would you want something that you want to show it off?
It's like saying City of Death, isn't it, that phrase? It's a very expensive... Finish the phrase off for me.
Blu-ray.
I don't know what it is. No, I don't know City of Death quotes. I should do. Anyway,
it's. I think it is a value thing. So people I'm sure the BBC will know about some people with them, and they just demand a lot of money.
Yeah, Paul Venice said he knows of it, but he says that he's going to try. I'm sure he said somewhere he's going to become friends with them. Because if you're friends with these people, there's a more chance that when they pop the clogs, which is hopefully soon, then they'll get them back.
Jesus Christ.
That's harsh, isn't it? Sorry. Hopefully get them back. I think a lot of it as well is people always think that private collectors are these big, nasty villains. I don't think that's necessarily true. I think that a lot of the time it's...
dude of a collection.
Yeah, I think a lot of the time it's just shy people who've probably got a bit more money than the rest of us, so they've got money to spend on rare film prints. Perhaps they're old enough to have salvaged them from skips and stuff back in the 70s. I don't think they're necessarily evil.
Of the Daleks.
Hey.
Oh, segue.
Under the table. Yeah.
I think, I've always, like, considered, like, if I had a missing episode, would I want money for it?
Yeah.
And part of me's like, no, just give it in. And then part of me's like, I would give it in, but I'd want, like, a free copy of it on DVD. And then sometimes I'm like, I'd give it in, but I'd want the actual tape.
Back. Yeah, no.
But I want them to scan it and give me the tape.
I think they do give it you back, don't they, generally?
I think but then part of me is like, well, I'll probably just it'll probably deteriorate and let them keep it in their archives. But I guess the thing is, because again, it's something I've thought about, because I sometimes, I don't have much to do. So if I was in another country and I found a missing episode,
which, let's be fair, is unlikely.
It's very.
You find yourself in Singapore, you happen to find a missing episode.
I'll just go abroad to Spain one day, and it's like, oh look, it's an abandoned TV station. Let's go have a look.
Let's just walk in like you do.
Yeah. But
in Spain of all places.
Somebody might be, and you'd have to pay that person.
Yeah.
To get the tapes, you'd have to pay to get them to England. So, like, you could rack up thousands and thousands trying to get these tapes back to your own house, and then the BBC's just like, yeah, no, we want it, and we're going to make loads of money off releasing it.
Yeah.
But you're getting nothing.
You're not getting a penny.
It's like...
Maybe that's why film collectors haven't given them back.
So, yeah, they're probably just holding out. Because, especially now with the collection, I feel like the BBC are going to be more like, right, guys, we really need to get these back.
Yeah, because they never realised how big those collection box sets were going to be, literally and metaphorically.
Yeah.
Because they didn't know they were going to make that much money, and it sold out within like a week, didn't it? Something ridiculous.
The first one, definitely.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a weird... I think if I found a missing episode, I think I'd want what I put into it back. So I'd want the can back, and I'd want whatever money I put towards getting it back, I would say.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want a lot of money, I just want whatever I paid for it, you know what I mean? If I paid 20 quid for the can, I want that back. That sounds very petty, but like, you know what I mean? Like, you don't want...
Or at least cover some of the expenses.
Yeah, or 10% of the 10% of the DVD funds, or something, you know what I mean? Just something.
Even 1%, because
yeah.
Make a lot.
Still more than I get my student loan. Yeah, really.
Oh.
I'm joking, guys.
It's not a joke, though, is it?
It's not a joke. I'm living in a shed.
We're sleeping under the table of this radio studio.
That's how we found evil.
We're evil. Yeah. But
We're in Singapore recording this right now. We found the episodes.
How could we afford to get to Singapore?
Well, that's what you used to actually loan on. Just got a cheap flight. Cheap flight. Some nice ladies over there.
Sneak into this radio studio.
Yeah. So, 10th Planet. Maybe we'll never see it. But we've got the animation, which is always, I guess, a good thing.
I guess the thing with 10th Planet is we do have, 3/4 of it, so we still have the majority. Too bad.
We know what it kind of looks like.
And we have the ending. It's just that,
that big chunk missing. I suppose the other thing is we've got Twice Upon a Time now, which although not great,
yeah, no, that can be wiped.
Oh, gotcha. A lot of it does help fill in a few of the gaps. Because don't get me wrong, I have a lot of issues with Twice Upon a Time. But I do like the start where a lot of it's reenacted. Although Ben and Polly can't act and they get the accent completely wrong.
It's far from being all over.
It's not him, it's Ben. That's the issue. He doesn't even do a Cockney accent. It's just like a general accent. But
Blimey, Doctor, is a bloody Cyberman.
And the other thing about Twice Upon a Time, I don't want to go too much into it, but I think it is a better send-off for Hartnell than 10th Planet. Not in terms of the sexist stuff, but in terms of, so that's what it means to be a doctor of war. I think that's, and then his last line's a long way around. That's better than keep warm. I personally think. I think this is the thing. I think a lot of fans are like, no, it's got to be keep warm. You've got to keep it because it's his last words. I think, yeah, but it's not great. You can fix it. Why, fix it.
Okay. I've heard this conversation a lot. Hey, I'm going to eat my Whisper Bar into the microphone right now.
So I've written down a few other last minute...
Yeet. What?
I've written down a few of the last minute questions.
Oh no.
To ask you.
I wasn't prepared, I didn't revise.
And just general discussion points.
Okay.
So, John Cura. Do you know who he is?
No.
You don't?
Was that the question?
It can be a question.
Who is he?
He's the guy who made all the telesnaps.
Oh, yeah, no, probably I've heard of him.
John Cura telesnaps. So it's just a bit of a fact file that's really about him. So he died in 1969, okay? And when he died, just after he died, his wife took all his telesnaps to the BBC and was like, do you want these? And he was like, no, go away. And a similar thing happened in the 90s when the people who recorded the audio of the episodes took them to the BBC originally, the BBC turned them down. And it was a few months or years before they actually went, we'll have them, come back. I just think, and this is the thing, I think it's easy to say that the BBC and other companies have improved in terms of how they're keeping their archive, but I think there's still a lot of issues, Do
you think people ever came back with a whole missing episode and were like, do you want this? And I was like, no, mate, chuck it.
I hope not, but who knows?
Or even worse, they're like, yeah, we'll have it. And then they'll just take it and wipe it. Oh, a free tape.
Yeah. This'll look good in a museum. But yeah, I don't know. I think that's one of the things that Phil Morris, one of the issues he has, because he brought back an episode of Basil Brush, and the BBC said they didn't want it because it wasn't commercially viable. But you kind of think, well, yeah, but
when was that?
This was last year. They showed it at Missing Believe White.
Haven't they learnt?
Yeah.
When there's a massive Basil Brush following in 50 years, and the revival has been so popular.
Yeah, this is what I mean.
You never know what's going to happen in the future.
It's one of them.
Keep it.
It's about storing your archives, right? And I know looking after an archive is expensive and it's difficult to do, but you've got to do it. You've got to do it for the next generations. And this is something I was reading online before. It's like it is, in a way, preserving our history.
Yeah.
And that's the thing with John Cura. When the BBC turned him away, fair enough, it was only 1969, but it's like, well, it's important. And
even just out of respect for the people who made it.
Yeah.
So like,
and even for the respect for the guy who took the pictures, John Cura, because they just burnt those pictures. A lot of them.
So we make like short films, and sure they're a bit shit, but
if someone wiped them, I won't be
if somebody
happy.
wiped them in 20 years, I'd be like, well, we still worked hard on that, and we still spent several weeks of our lives on that.
There's a lot of old films that are wiped as well, though, isn't there? There's Laurel and Hardy films, a few of them, and there's the Moon film. What's it called? The thingy, is it called Trip to the Moon?
The George Méliès one?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not wiped.
No, it used to be, though.
But did it?
Yeah, for about, I think, 20 years.
All right.
And they found it, I think, in the 40s or 50s.
I think, like, Metropolis, which is, like, a massive influence, isn't, like, complete. They keep finding little bits of it I'm sure there's, like, 4 different versions now.
And the moon landing, a lot of that's gone.
The BBC wiped their footage of the moon landing.
Yeah.
If that's not historically significant, what is?
Well, this is what I find weird. Apparently, and I'm not sure if this is true, and we'll come on to it more in the Charlton one, but they kept the Underwater Menace Part 3 because they thought it was a good artifact of what TV was like in the 60s. And I'm like, well, why would you keep that and not keep the moon landing? Or not keep Power of the Daleks? Or not keep 10th Planet? It's like, I don't understand that. But, I don't know. Next thing I want to go on to briefly is, and I mentioned this before, about how lucky we are, how much we have. And there are 17 Hartnell episodes which didn't exist in 1977 that we've now got. And I think when you think about that, that is quite remarkable.
Yeah.
We've got the whole of War Machines, and we've got 1, 3, and 4 of Time Meddler.
We are lucky. I feel like that we'll see more in our lifetimes than...
Definitely.
what's come before.
And I think as well, there was people say, we haven't had a recovery for 6 years, but I think there's been something every single year, I think. We've had clips back, we've had... last year there was the Randolph tapes, the audios of Daleks Master Plan onwards to Underwater Menace, whatever it was, which is better audio, I believe. So there's always something coming up. Even stuff like little audio of teasers of Power of the Daleks and stuff, and there's always stuff coming out. And they found, in 2005, they found some clips of Power of the Daleks.
Yeah.
On another documentary or something, I think. So they found them. So there's always stuff that's coming our way. But yeah. It'd be crazy. Imagine having a world without War Machines and Time Meddler and all them that we've kind of... I think we take for granted now, don't we, really?
Yeah.
In a way. So what do you think the future is of missing episodes?
Don't know. Because
we've got a few, I think the way I see it is we've got a few options. We've got recoveries, which is the ideal thing, reconstructions, animations, colorizations, and reconstructions with the Adventure in Space and Time cast. There's 5 things.
Well,
I see it.
The thing is, when we first started having these conversations last summer, if you'd have asked me then, I would have been very confident and I'm sure you probably remember me being very confident that something was going to come back. But
because you can get lost in the forums online, can't you?
Yeah, but the longer it goes on, it's just there's only so long that you can just keep teasing it and not actually show anything. And sure they've announced Macra now, but it's I'm not really that.
That makes. I think that means less of a chance of getting it back.
Yeah, and I'm not. But the thing is, it's still missing episode news though.
Yeah.
But
yeah, true.
I don't know. I'm just not interested in it.
Are you not?
No.
I'm not really. They released the cover, didn't they? I'm not a massive fan of that.
Yeah, it's just. I don't know, because I really like Macra, and I watched the reconstruction last year, and it's just I don't really.
Yeah.
Care.
That's a weird one, isn't it?
And if that was all they had to announce, then clearly they haven't got anything they're ready
to... The win in space, wasn't there? 10 minutes of that.
Yeah, that's
weird. And that's still not being released, I don't think, is it? Apart from at the BFI.
No, I think that's probably going to be a special feature on
apparently, Further from the Deep is what I've heard.
Oh, I was going to say on Macro.
Oh, right.
But that's the thing, they just keep releasing these anime, and
It's nice to have a complete set, though, isn't
them.
it? Of animations.
Yeah.
It feels more complete.
I'm not that interested, to be honest.
Yeah.
It's just
I do get that.
Because nowadays, obviously, I watch all sorts of weird films and things, so I don't have as much time.
Yeah.
For just Doctor Who, so
not like me. You don't dedicate your life and your religion and everything.
So
to
if they just announce an animation, I'll be like, yeah, I'll get. So I've still not seen Power.
Have you not? You've got it though, haven't you?
I own it, but it's just
sit down and watch that. That's all right. That one.
I will one day. It's just that's the thing. It's always I'll watch it, but it's very low on my priority list.
And the problem with a lot of the animations, especially Power, is they rush them. I'm pretty sure they made Power in... It was either 6 weeks or 6 months, but I've got a feeling it was 6 weeks. I think it's ridiculous. Why can't you spend more time on it rather than putting it out for the anniversary?
I'd like to see how much it costs to make versus how much they make off of it.
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
I don't know. I've always just heard that they don't fund them very well, and they don't look like they've had a lot of funding behind them. That's no disrespect for the animators, of course.
A lot of work.
There's a lot of talent involved, and you can only work as hard as your budget allows with the time allowed.
But I remember the only one that I thought was amazing was Ice Warriors. The rest are just kind of there. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people don't like the Ice. It's kind of stylized, I think, the Ice Warriors one. It's got a kind of.
I've only seen it once. I don't remember a lot about it. But
the thing about Ice Warriors, it was a lot more of a cartoon and smooth. So
It's not 3D.
I know, it's weird.
But Reign of Terror was weird. That was nauseating watching
Yeah,
that
so
one.
that one's very,
It's
I want to say detailed, but not. They're just like.
it's a bit too detailed, if anything.
Everything's very angular, and there's all the cats have lots of wrinkles and things.
And a lot of shading on that
Yeah,
one.
whereas Ice Warriors is very everything's rounded, and it's very there's a style to it. And I kind of like that because I don't really like the realistic looking kind of Reign of Terror ones. But I haven't actually watched Ice Warriors, so I don't know if it looks.
Have you
good
watched
in
Reign of
motion.
Terror?
I think the only animation I've seen is The Invasion.
And Death Planet.
And I keep forgetting about it.
What do I think about missing episodes? I think we'll get more back, but I don't think it'll be from Phil Morris, and I don't think we'll get any full episodes back in one go at least. I think we'll get a lot of dribs and drabs now. But you've got to remember, this is it's getting on for 60 years now since some of these programs are made. So it's a long time. And I think they said, I watched a documentary about Enemy of the World, which I think I showed to you, and they even say in it that if those cans had been left any longer, they probably wouldn't have been salvageable.
Yeah, the longer you leave it, the less likely. And I'm trying to think, Macra, they did tease it a little bit, didn't they?
Yeah.
So I feel like if it's going to happen, we will pretty much know before the BBC do. We all knew about season 12 before it was announced. I think we all knew about Macra
Can't keep
pretty
anything a
much
secret,
before
can
it was announced. We all knew about Power before it was announced years ago, and they always say, "Oh, coming at midnight."
But this is the thing.
We'll know.
This is the thing. And again, speaking to Toby Haydock about this, he said the midnight announcements are never a good idea. Because if you say you're doing a midnight announcement, people just jump to missing episodes straight away, because that's what Enemy and Web were.
Yeah.
So when they announced the Class TV series a few years back, everyone was convinced it was Dalek's master plan. I remember being online when it was a few hours before it was announced, and everyone was thinking a few hours till Dalek's master plan's on iTunes, and
yeah, I mean that's not necessarily the BBC's fault though.
Yeah, well, it's not. Yeah, but
that's the
it's like Toby Haydock said. He said, "Well, if you're doing a midnight announcement for a TV series that nobody has any context to, why bother doing a midnight announcement for it? There's nothing they already know about. They're going to get excited about. You know what I mean? Unless you're excited about the logo of Coal Hill School. That's pretty much the only thing that was
it's
already there.
Drum up hype, but
I just don't think it
I
works.
just think it's a very delicate subject because it
Everyone
means a
jumps to missing
lot to a
episodes.
lot of people.
Yeah. Yeah. Is there? I wrote this down on my notes as well. Is there any episodes that are existing from the Hartnell era that you'd switch for missing ones, or any episodes in general? I guess.
I don't think so, because I think the second you switch to a reality where, the myth makers exists and I don't know. I'm trying to think of a
Sense rights.
Yeah, the sense rights doesn't.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, it's like, well, the myth makers is really boring. I wish the censor rights was.
Yeah, it's got aliens in that one. Yeah.
So the second you switch it, it doesn't matter what the episode's really about. To be honest, it's just people are just like, oh, it's missing. I want it.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. I suppose that's Yeah, it's a weird one. But we can only hope. I do have hope. I think we'll definitely see something else.
Yeah, it's just a question of when.
Paul Venice said there's definitely, and he said the word definitely, there's definitely missing episodes in the hands of private collectors. So there's definitely something in this world that we've not seen yet.
Yeah.
It's whether or not we'll get to see it and how long it'll be, and hopefully the tape won't deteriorate. Because like I said, that's the issue we've got now. It's getting to the point now, it's like, these are going to deteriorate sooner or later. Certainly by the time, I know this is way off, but by the time Doctor Who's 100, we've got to draw the line, I think. Because by that point, the tapes won't be worth salvaging, and I don't think there'll be anything else out there.
Yeah.
But for now, I think there's something else.
Yeah, it's like I said, it's a question of when.
Yeah, when and if.
You've obviously got a lot of people looking out for them. You've got private collectors.
Yeah.
Something will come forward one day.
I just think that I don't want to get preachy about this, but I think the fans need to keep quiet as well to an extent, which I know is easier said than done. But I think when fans talk about it and when fans get involved and start phoning foreign TV stations and try and find it for themselves and do all sorts, I just think it causes more harm than it's worth. And I just think that's how stuff like Web3 was lost.
Yeah, the second people find out that they're valuable, there's suddenly a whole... So a lot of people are just like, oh, look at these old tapes, and then somebody says it's valuable, and it's like, oh, in that case, I won't get rid of it unless you give me like £1,000.
Yeah, exactly. So I think, like I said, I know it's easier said than done, but I think we need to keep quiet and hope for the best. And I'm going to put this out there, I think in the next 10 years we'll see something. I think we will. Even if it's just like a one-off episode, I think there's bound to be, I think. I find it... Cause I'm not sure what the longest gap is in between recoveries, but I think we're bound to see something.
I wonder if something had happened this year, because obviously there's no Doctor Who this year until 2020.
Well, Phil Morris did say something was coming, didn't he? But whether it actually means it or if he's
They just need to do something to keep the Doctor Who train going this year.
Yeah. Because they had, even like 2016, they had Class, didn't they? So they had something on.
So all they've really got is like the BBC themselves have got is their collection box sets.
Yeah, although they are popular.
They are popular, yeah, and I love them. But
and like we talked briefly about it before, but it'll be interesting to see how they do seasons 1 to 6 on those.
Yeah, the thing is, those are very much collector orientated, so they need to do something for Doctor Who that'll keep it in the public eye.
Yeah.
This year.
Yeah.
And even though it probably doesn't, you think of missing episodes, it's just like a bunch of like 80-year-olds who get excited about them. But
I think it's bigger than people think it is.
Yeah, Web and Enemy was national news.
Yeah,
I remember it on the
BBC
news.
Breakfast, wasn't it? Yeah. And it's one of them, isn't it? I think but this is the thing, we can't. Although we're talking about Doctor Who here, we've also got to remember there's a lot of other missing TV. So,
Yeah,
we talked before briefly about the moon landing and stuff like that. I doubt we'll ever get them back because I'm assuming the moon landing wasn't sold to Nigeria for people to watch. Maybe it was.
I mean, we do have footage of the moon landing, so
yes, it's not as bad, I guess, but.
And we have the all the American coverage.
Yeah, and like I said before, Doctor Who's very lucky. We've got a lot of stuff.
It is bizarre.
I think it's Troughton that's more heavily hit.
It is bizarre, like, there's all these influential old films that just don't exist and nobody really cares. Whereas this little British show from the 60s has this mass following that everybody's like desperate to try and find an episode where a guy gets chased by a dude dressed as a monster down a corridor.
I think the problem
it makes you realise, like, you kind of feel a bit of a pride. It's like, oh, look our little show.
That's the thing, isn't it? I think the issue is as well, a lot of the missing episodes are big ones as well. We've got 3 Dalek stories missing, or 4 if you include Mission 2. We've got Jamie's first story. We've got Stephen's last story. We've got Ben and Polly's technically first story. We've got Vicky's last story. This the first historical, technically, unless you count Unearthly Child. So there's a lot of stuff in there and obviously Troughton's first story. We can't forget that. So there's a lot of stuff in there that I think one day we'll get back. I think one day we will. But we'll wrap this up now, and we'll say goodbye for now. And the next podcast, I think, I'm not sure when it's coming.
Dependent on how popular this one is.
And yeah, I'd love to try and make it one a month, but I don't know if that's possible.
Find a way.
But we'll see. So the end.
Ooh.
Optimistic ending. Adventure in Space and Time music. It's
They're
the end of the
out
podcast. There. Yeah, they're out there. Let's do some inspirational quotes. Come on, we'll find them one day.
There are worlds out there where the sky is burning.
One day they will come back. Yes, they will come back.
The missing episodes are in the stars, so let's go and search for them.
My legs, I can't feel my legs. No, that doesn't work, does it? No, one day
Trust me,
we'll
I'm
get
the
them.
doctor.
Yeah. What else can you do? You fool! You old fool! That's from the Daleks Part 2.
Thanks.
Nothing in the world can stop me now.
Bang, bang.
Yeah.
I'm a genius. Now we're just quoting anything else.
Yeah. What else can we do? We can do it's far from being all over.
And on that one,
yes,
we'll fade out. We'll go.
Check us out on Twitter and Facebook if you like, and Master Whovians. And Novanaut is a great channel as well.
Check out the YouTubes.
You can get yourself lost on Novanaut for hours.
Thank you. Enjoy Master Whovians content on YouTube, on your phone, on your computer.
Press that notification bell. I don't know why this will probably be uploaded to PA Productions, to be fair, or whatever. But wherever you're watching this, or wherever I've uploaded it to, have fun. And happy missing episode watching. Or existing episodes, I suppose. Goodbye.
Goodbye.